Hey everyone, I'm Mel from Cardstock Concoctions. Thank you guys for joining me today. Today's project is a Get Well tissue box. And this one is actually made out of the craft 2x2 treat boxes that were in the catalog 3 years ago. I'm going to be using the one that's currently in the catalog, which is the clear tiny treat box. So let's go ahead and get started on our really cute treat box, or tissue box, not treat box, it's a tissue box. The first thing you are going to need is, as always, you are going to need the clear, teeny, tiny treat box. And you guys are going to definitely want to kind of break it in. You have a film on this thing. Go ahead and pull off that film. You want to make sure you pull it off before you cut. I'm going to get rid of mine. Make sure you guys kind of work it just a little bit. Fold in all your sides, fold them back, your front, make sure it's nice and malleable. Little tab there. And then, of course, all of your bottom pieces. Make sure all of those fold nice and well. There we go. Okay, so your box is all nice and folded. Go ahead and put it back so that it's in a flat position. And the little tab, like the inside flap that comes up against your top lid piece, fold that back so there's only one layer. You only have your top lid piece showing. This is where you guys are going to need your big shot. Now, I'm also going to be doing a couple of big shot works all at the same time. So along with cutting this, you're going to want to grab out your layering circle framelit dies. You are going to want to pull out the 2 smallest circles and the smallest scallop circle. Pull them all out at one time, okay? And we're going to be doing a whole lot of big shot work today. You are also going to want to grab, I am using the Perfectly Artistic Designer Series paper today. I'll actually pull that out and show you. And because of that, I pulled out the Bermuda Bay and the Melon Mambo. So I grabbed coordinating cardstock for those two as well, okay? So we're gonna try to do a lot of the big shot work all at one time. So we're gonna pick up all of our cardstock and our treat box. We're gonna pull in our big shot. This goes off camera. I do apologize. You're going to want your magnetic platform. Now, the first thing you're going to want to lay down is I'm going to be using Bermuda Bay for the scalloped circle. So I'm going to lay that one down first, way up here at the top. I do mean way up there at the top. Then I'm going to be using the our largest circle that we pulled out, or the second largest circle in our packet. Go ahead and put that on my Melon Mambo. And then my nice small circle, I'm going to be attaching directly to my treat box. Now, you want to try to make your treat box so that it actually hits the center as best you can. And I'm sorry if you guys can't see my center. Put on your second mat, cutting plates, and crank it all the way through. Cracking, popping is totally normal. All right, we're gonna put our big shot down for just a moment. You will be using it again. We're gonna pull out all of our circles. All right, we're gonna have to run that one through a second time. Every once in a while, you do have to run it through a second time. I don't really know why. All right, your scallop you are completely done with. You are also completely done with your large circle. Now it's time for your small circle. Unfortunately, we have to run these things all separately. So we're gonna run this through one more time in the same groove, and I'll be back in just a moment. So I did have to cut out the circle, and I did have to run it through about 4 times, twice from the bottom and twice from the top. so it does cut. You may have to add a little bit of an extra piece of cardstock into your Big Shot to give it a little more oomph to cut all the way through the plastic. If you have the circle framelit or the circle punches, those go through just as well, okay? We're also going to go ahead and we're going to grab back in that Melon Mambo larger circle that you created. You're going to want to layer on top of that Melon Mambo circle your smaller circle. And unfortunately, oops, my mats are not flush anymore. And I'm also grabbing out the small butterfly out of the bold butterfly framelits. And I'm grabbing back in that lovely Bermuda Bay cardstock. I'm going to put that back on. I'm going to run this through the Big Shot and we will be back. Hey everyone, I am back after all of the Big Shot work. I didn't think you guys wanted to watch it. So I went ahead and I cut out the bold butterfly, which you guys saw me put on the cutting plate. And I went ahead and pulled it out of here. If you use a piece of wax paper, it comes out beautifully. Also, if you have that lovely brush tool from Stampin' Up, that also works really well. Now you guys saw us cut the larger circle and the scallop. I went ahead and I took the smaller circle that we used to cut the hole in the box to also cut a hole in the larger circle as well as a hole in the scalloped circle, okay? So you do have to do that twice, unfortunately. If you guys have the you guys have the circle punches, again, those work just as well if you guys have those. I didn't have all the sizes I needed, so I had to do this the hard way. All right, we're gonna do a couple of quick stamping items, and then we're going to assemble. The little circles, you don't actually need those. The bigger one, you do. Put our box up here. Grab in a piece of Whisper White cardstock. I am using a 1/4 inch, and we are only gonna need about 3 inches. I'm also using Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set. In here, it's got a whole bunch of sayings and things that are great. The Get Well Wishes, always good for somebody who's sick or with sympathy. That kind of stuff works really well. I'm going to be using Bermuda Bay ink today for contrast. And go ahead and ink it up. Straight down. Straight up. Well, it turns out I'm upside down, but it looks pretty good. That actually looks really good. We're going to leave that alone. Even for me stamping upside down, guys. All right. Set that off to the side to dry for just a few seconds. Pull in your clear box. You will notice that if you fold over your top, your flaps are going to cover your circle. Guess what, guys? We got to cut some of those off. So grab yourselves a pair of scissors and trim them down. Don't cut them off completely, but please do trim them down. If you cut them off completely, your box will not actually close correctly. So you do want to just trim them, do not cut them. So I don't know if you guys can see, but I do have a little bit of a wing left on both sides. All right. So how do we put this all together? The bottom with a notch out of it goes in first, then the two sides, and then the one with the notch. And then just kind of push gently. I pushed way too hard. And then it pops back up into place. Then we're going to glue together our circles here, our layers. Just adding, I am using, sorry, all this in the camera range. I'm just going to use Tombow glue, and I'm just adding little dots of glue. And I'm just layering one on top of the other. Not complex, let me tell you. I'm going to do the same thing to the scallop with a little extra glue here. I'm going to layer that right on top of where the hole in our box goes. Preferably try not to have a whole bunch of glue on your fingers before you do this with a clear box. Like I just did. You guys are really great at placing fast fuse and tear tapes and stuff. Go ahead and use that. All right, so we have our top glued on. I also grabbed a piece of cardstock that measures 1.5 inches wide by 9 inches long. And I'm gonna finger score it. So I just kind of place it on my box, kind of where I want it. Finger score, finger score. So just pinch the edge. And as you hold it in place, as you go around, just keep pinching the edge, just to give yourself a place to fold it. Make sure your folds are nice and even. Reinforce them with your fingers. Same thing with the second one. There we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit of fast fuse. I'm using fast fuse because it does stick to the clear acetate better. And I'm just putting one line on both ends here as well as here of the cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap one. And as you can see, just stick it down. Line up the second one, stick it down. I'm going to do the exact same thing with another piece. This one is Melon Mambo. The first one was Bermuda Bay. This measures 1 inch by 9 inches. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to kind of lay it on top, finger score, and reinforce my folds. Line them up first, so make sure that you're going to have some wonky, janky lines. And just go ahead and reinforce the folds with your fingers. You can do this with your scoreboard. However, I find it actually more difficult. It takes me a lot more time to do it. And again, I'm just going to add some fast fuse on one side, rotate it, do the same thing on the other side. Just in the center there. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so before we continue, I'm going to show you guys how I folded my tissues in my box so that if you pull them, the next tissue comes up, okay? So go ahead and grab in 4 facial tissues. I have 4 of them here and they are folded in half, okay? They're folded in half widthwise. We're going to fold them in half again widthwise, and then you're going to fold them in half once lengthwise and then stop. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that again. So you have it in half widthwise, in half widthwise, in half lengthwise. Okay, your box can hold approximately 5 tissues. I only put in 4 tissues. Don't ask me why I came up with 4, but once I did 4, I did notice that you could do 5. Last but not least, all right, along with that, all right, now you're going to want to fold in half again lengthwise. You're going to want the side with the fold on bottom. So you have the side with the open tissues on the top. Take your second one, place it into the fold, and then place the first one back on top. Okay, so you have the folded side on the bottom. You fold on top in half. You open it back up. Take the fold side, put it into the fold, and then close it back down. And then you're going to fold back over again. All right, I will do that again for us. Open one side up, take your fold side, put it into your fold your other side back down, and then fold back over. You're kind of creating, you guys remember those old chains that we used to link together in like kindergarten? That's kind of what you're doing here. So last tissue, take it, place it in the fold it back down. And then this one right here, you're just gonna kind of keep up. Just to let you know, you're gonna keep it up. We're gonna come back to our box. We're gonna open our box up. Sorry if you guys can't see me opening my box up, but get your little flaps out of the way. Push your tissues in. Take your last piece that folds up and pull it through the top. Then put in both your sides and then tuck in your front. Voila, you got a little tissues that can actually pull out of your box, okay? Now let's go and do the finishing touches. Our saying, our get well saying, is all nice and dry. Now you can do this a couple of ways. You can just cut them off, you can pen at the ends. I'm actually gonna be using a heart punch here. There was no rhyme or reason, I just kind of liked the way that it made it look. I grab my scissors here and just cut some of that off. And then I just kind of, again, put it in my heart punch here and just punched it out. There was no real rhyme or reason as to why I did what I did. I just liked it. Our butterfly, I gently bent up his wings, or its wings. I called it a he. Apparently I made my butterfly a he. I would also like to add some pearls. These are our Stampin' Up's basic pearls. I cut off 3. 3 turned out to be a really great number when it came to this little guy. Put 3 pearls in the center there. I'm going to take 1 glue dot on the back of our butterfly. I'm going to place him off to the side here so he's kind of flying up and away. And then this time I thought I might actually try the edge of a dimensional. So you guys see these edges here? With a 1/4 inch, it works really well. You just take one of those, so basically it's a 1/2 dimensional. Pull off the back, if I can get the back off. There we go. Actually, I think I'm gonna like the dimensional a little bit better. And then I just went ahead and put it on top. Now I do think I like the clear treat box a little more than I enjoy the craft cardstock box. Same size, same number of tissues, same everything. But I think I enjoy the clear one just a little bit more. So that is my lovely Get Well project. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you enjoyed this project, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more projects like this, please go ahead and subscribe. This is Mel from Cardstock Concoctions saying thanks a lot, guys. Bye.